Hello, viewers. This is Biman Gandhi, and I welcome you all to this yet another very interesting podcast with Mr. Ravichandran. Ravichandran has spent close to 3 decades in sales as a sales professional. He's an engineer. He's also studied business management, and his specific experience is into B2B sales, and that too in capital equipment sales. He has worked with companies like L&T and also CNH. After working for about 3 decades, he quit his corporate life and decided to be on his own to help more than just one company that he used to work for, but to help multiple companies and also individuals. In his capacity as a sales coach, consultant, and a trainer, he has been inspiring a lot of companies and a lot of individuals. Ravichandran, welcome to this podcast.
Thank you, Biman, for the kind words. I am flattered and honored.
I would like to just begin this podcast with continuation of the introduction that I was just talking about. If you can just talk a little bit more about your corporate experience and specifically about your exposure in sales.
Yeah, thanks, Biman. As you mentioned, I started my professional journey in Larsen and Toubro in 1991. I joined the aftermarket department, that is after sales of construction equipment. Then I moved into sales in 1997 for about 20 years. And then continuing in sales, I handled part of Madhya Pradesh initially, then Chhattisgarh, then Maharashtra. And I was a zonal manager for South, based out of Bangalore. Then from 2011 onwards, I handled a part of dealer development. And finally, before I left in CNH in 2020, I was handling marketing, operational marketing and training in CNH. So all in all the roles connected with sales in various functions, be it dealer development or operational marketing or direct sales. So 3 decades of corporate experience in connected to sales in construction and earthmoving equipment, B2B sales. And then in 2021, as you rightly said, I wanted to contribute to the larger ecosystem. I formed Sales Enablers. Now we are about 4 years old, and we are working with 45 brands. Most of them are multinationals, large corporates, large conglomerates who are into construction, earthmoving equipment, and B2B products, consumer products, and everything related to the B2B sales ecosystem. And we work in the area of sales, aftermarket, dealer development, key account management, increasing the aftermarket revenue, customer satisfaction. Primarily, as you rightly said, focusing on increasing the efficiency of B2B sales.
Wow, that's a wonderful experience, and thank you for sharing that. When we talk about any individual's experience, typically when, let's say, for example, if somebody says that he did work in sales as a sales professional, very rarely people realize that it's not just one function or one functional exposure. In the experience that you just narrated, you mentioned about the variety of experience that you have accumulated. It is not just plain vanilla selling, or it's not just going to, let's say, customer and giving a sales pitch. You worked on dealer management, for example, you say. Now it's a completely different experience. Then, there you deal with people coming from different walks of life, people having different objectives, people having different size and scale. Their levels of understanding are different, and of course, different cultures. So that obviously must have been very, very enriching. When you started Sales Enablers, by the way, I like that name very well. When
Thank
you
you.
started the Sales Enabler in 2021, and today we are in the almost at the fag end of 2024. So let's consider about 3.5 years. What has been your experience so far working as a founder and also a delivery person in Sales Enabler?
Well, that's a very, very interesting question, Biman. Yeah, initially everything new is scary. When I started in 2021 January, I was also very afraid as what the future will hold for me. And working for two large multinationals who have got global presence in 180 countries, and then suddenly jumping into your own organization where you are everything there is a bit scary, intimidating, and fearful at times. But then I decided I had a motto: one day at a time. And fortunately, I had got a good contacts in the industry, CE space, and one or two good breakthroughs was appreciated. The word of mouth was positive. And as they say, if you love what you do, you don't have to work for a single day in your life. So these 4 years have not been work because I loved helping people and helping them in terms of sales enrichment. And women, all along I've been seeing in India, whatever sales training used to happen was having the Western context, Western experiences, Western people setting the tone. And as you know, India is a very diverse country with its own nuances. Each and every state is different. Each and every customer segment is different. So when I brought the practical aspects to people as to what I face and how I handle the situation, how my colleagues handle the situation, how our system handle the situation. So many people used to relate with this practical, uh, uh, experiences. So that is why the word of mouth was very positive, and one led to another. And now we are very happy that about 30 to 35 brands directly connected with C industry and 10 to 15 brands indirectly connected with the construction equipment industry are approaching me, and I've been happy to add value to them. So to answer your question, yes, it was uncertain in the beginning, but now, as you rightly said, as time goes by, and based on my association and repeat requests, I find myself gainfully engaged, and I am very hopeful that this is going to continue for times to come.
Great. One of the things that I did not do when I started as a business coach, I think I was missing to write a book. But when you started individually, all by yourself, I think you began with a very right step, which was to write a book, and that too focusing on B2B sales. Would you like to throw some light on your book, Ravi? I know
Yeah,
Amazon
thanks, Vimal,
bestseller.
for asking this very nice question. You're right. I started in 2021 January formally. The seeds of which were being, I would say, growing underground or trying to sprout much before that. Then I thought, what next? And in 2020, during COVID times, I used that opportunity to write a book, Seven Value Drivers for Success in Sales. It is based on my experience in sales about value selling, how I approach customer through value selling concept, which was my own, I would say, benchmark or my own competencies. So again, the genesis goes back to the need for an Indian book on sales. Whenever we see a book on sales, it is just generally based on a Western concept or a Western situation. I thought, why not write a book on my experience of 3 decades based on Indian situations, Indian customer, Indian context, how sales happen here, what do the customer wants in a very simple to be completed in a couple of hours. I wrote a book, Seven Value Drivers for Success in Sales. Seven things which customer want when they buy a B2B product from you in a form of an experience in a storyline. And I'm very happy that many people who read that found it very simple and easy to relate. So a book becomes a sort of a visiting card for you, Biman. When you go and you say that you're an author and this is how you articulated your 3 decades of experience, people can read that and get an idea about you and your work and your articulation. So many times you are not able to directly, convey about your work, about your thought process to people. So might as well give them the book, and when they have time, they'll go through it, and then they can know about you. So this way, the book has really helped me in terms of, portraying my competence in B2B sales. And yeah, I've been thinking of writing the second book, but somehow I'm not able to get my act together.
Yeah, I think those who are listening, I would like to repeat one more time that this book is available on Amazon and several other platforms as well. It's Amazon's bestseller book. It is called, Ravi, if you can just mention the title of the
Yeah,
book.
the book is Seven Value Drivers for Success in Sales. It is, if you just put seven value drivers, and then the book will be appearing on Amazon.
Right, and that is especially focusing on B2B sales. And when it comes to B2B sales, and again, I'm stretching a question a little bit more on the book part. Uh, it gives you a lot of practical insights because it is written and authored by somebody who has worked all by himself for nearly 3 decades. So you can imagine the kind of experience, the collection of experience, and that is compiled and very well articulated in that very light read book. I have seen that book. I have also read it partially. I must admit that. Going forward, Ravi, we have been talking about B2B sales. Uh, Now, this is no longer a buzzword, but of course, it is quite unfamiliar territory for many, and especially those who are listening to this podcast and are into B2B sales. Probably you can throw some light on what exactly the process is when it comes to B2B and what are the important components or elements of B2B sales.
Bhiman, a very fantastic question, I would say, very elementary question, though it appears to. And unfortunately, Bhiman, what happens is many people in India still they take sales and marketing in the same breath. And I feel surprised. Marketing is totally different. Sales is totally different. Sales is revenue generation. Marketing is demand generation. Sales is creating a creating a push and trying to sell your product. Well, marketing is creating a pull. There's a whole lot of nuances and whole lot of differences, but people take it in the same breath. And I would really want to educate people that sales and marketing are totally different. While the end product may be the same, the end goal may be the same. Similarly, in sales also, B2B sales and B2C sales are a whole world apart. B2B is business to business, a person buying your product or services and using that product or services to enhance their own business. Okay. And in a B2C sale, there are many people who are buying your product for consuming that product, and it is not used for their business. So it is used for their own consumption. So the buying patterns are different, the thought process are different, the stakes are different, the risks are very different. So I would say that people should be very conscious when they say B2B and B2C sales. And each sale, each type of sales requires a different competency. B2C requires much more digital presence, much more technological presence, much more marketing involvement. Whereas B2B is more on one-to-one and relationship type, where the value selling and the fundamentals of core value selling applies. So I always make it very clear for our sales certification programs or sales programs, what we do, that we are into B2B sales. Yeah, while 60% of sales is common because the human being is common at the end, whether he's consuming for himself or whether he's consuming for his company.
Right.
But that 40% makes a lot of difference. So as you rightly said, we need to be very conscious of the fact that which area are we adding value. If it is B2B, then there's different set of rules apply. And if it is a B2C, a different set of sales. And now there's a combination of B2, B2C, where a customer buys for his organization and then distributes it. So we'll not go into detail. But I think people should be conscious of two major category, B2B, business to business, and B2C, business to consumer.
Okay. And I'm sure the sales certification course that you're offering to the people who are interested to learn more about sales, I'm sure these are deciphered in great detail, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, Abhiman. If you'd like to permit me, I want to share one slide. Is it okay?
Yeah, sure. You can share it.
I'll slide one. Yeah, I'll share one slide. So as you said, the sales certification is a combination of everything. So we have the goal setting in the first, right, as a part of sales process, sales excellence. Then there is planning and preparation. Then there is lead generation and management. There is effective sales pitch. There is objection handling. There is negotiation techniques. There is value selling. There is customer relationship management. And in today's context, you have to use the sales automation and AI in sales, because the way in which sales have been done, the information is taken and distributed is totally disrupted because of this AI and sales automation tools. So when people talk about sales, They talk about only about selling the product, but they should understand that sales is only an end result. Okay, there are 9 very important process areas which one has to refine themselves. Even a person with 2 to 3 decades of experience, they are not going process wise, they are just doing it based on their experience. So you have to set the right goals for the benefit of people are just revisiting this entire process. And once you set the right goals, you have to plan and prepare well for executing those goals. And as people always say, smart goals, it has to be really practical, implementable, and it should be very realistic. Smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Then, with only a planning and preparation, you just cannot move if you don't have good quality leads.
Mhm.
If you have good quality leads, you need to manage them very professionally, because a lead can fructify in 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months. You have to have the patience, the wherewithal, and the technology to ensure that they are not lost.
Mhm.
Then you need to be have a very good storytelling approach so that your sales pitch can be very, very impactful. Because in today's context, people are highly distracted. 1 or 2 minutes of gap and they cannot concentrate. So you need to be very, very colorful, and you should be very, very charming so that you catch people's attention.
Mhm.
Then there will be definitely objections, because you are not the only one. There are so many people who are trying to sell to that particular customer. So there will be some objections which are said, there will be some objections which are unsaid. So how do you professionally quickly handle the objections? Then you should definitely know negotiation techniques. And women, I recollect our programs which we do in as a part of a 2-day workshop on negotiation technique, which is a totally a field in itself, which even after 30 years and we both are learning negotiations, because it's
Okay.
a very vast subject. Then there's a value selling concept, because nowadays it is not a push sale. It is every customer is asking what is there for me. What value are you giving with your product or services? We should be very, very conscious of the fact that what is the value selling proposition. And then once the customer is made, you have to handle the relationship very, very carefully so that your customer becomes your brand ambassador. You cannot keep on selling. Your customer should turn into your brand ambassador. And then
Mhm.
finally, as I said earlier, you need to use the sales automation tools, AI, so that you reach to more people and you're more effective. So, Viman, we conduct a sales certification program. The first cohort is starting on 9th of November 2024. We
Oh.
also can offer customized sales certification program for a company where they can nominate about 15 to 20 of their people, where we go through the entire 9 modules. They give them pre-work, post-work, reading materials, tests, so that they don't have a expertise only in one area, but they understand the entire B2B sales ecosystem in a much, much more better way, and they can, use the pieces in such a way that the entire sales offering can be very powerful and very, very effective for achieving their results. So
Great.
I would say thanks for paying attention to the entire thing, which I could not have done justice to the entire 9 framework by just telling, because that is why I wanted to share this slide, and I regret that it took a minute or so to get the slide on the screen.
No, no, I don't think that's a problem. It was a fantastic representation of a complete cycle, and if people follow, I'm sure they will achieve excellence. When it comes to any field, for that matter, there are some people who just do it for the sake of doing it, or maybe just to make their living, and there are some people who really accelerate and then finally excel also. And if you are putting people on that excellence path, I think that's a great service that you are doing as an experienced professional.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to pick it up from where you left on that slide, and that was talking about sales automation and tools. But before I come to my question, Ravi, when we are in a particular field, whether somebody is doing maintenance or somebody is working as a project engineer or a project manager, or somebody in sales professional, either as a sales executive or a sales head, many are things you just take life as it comes. In other words, you just continue to adapt yourself with all the changes that are happening around it. But now that you have taken a break from corporate life and you are looking at things from a distance, I'm sure you are realizing the impact of lot of disruptions which are happening thanks to technology. And that brings me to my question, and also the last point on that slide, which was about automation. How do you see the technology affecting sales as a function and salespeople as an individual?
I would say again, once again, a fantastic question, Biman. And I know you are a very seasoned coach, and the biggest strength that you have is asking very powerful questions. And the last session we attended of AI of Dr. Bhushan Kelkar, he said that today the intelligent person is one who asks powerful questions. Answers can be given by AI and other tools, but the one who is intelligent is ask powerful questions. And I think you are very intelligent. You ask very powerful questions.
Thank you.
So So again, coming to the question which you answered is yes, sales technology is going to disrupt the way we are going to do business. Totally, it will make many of the traditional sales people redundant, I would say, and this will appear very shocking. And but I mean what I say. People will become redundant if they keep doing the same thing. Salespeople used to explain the product, their features, their productivity, their advantages, the disadvantages of the competition, because the customer was not having that detail. Now the customer has got everything compiled, ready-made by technology. Before the salesperson even has shown his face, the customer knows what his products can do. He has seen the reviews. He has talked to people who have bought it. He has known the market feedback. So traditionally, the things won't work. Technology has to be used for one's advantage. So AI and the sales automation will not do any harm to you. They will not beat you. The people who are using AI effectively will do harm to you, or they will beat you. So now what is going to happen is information will be abundantly available. Customer knows what is that you are going to sell and how it is perceived in the market. So what is more important is the salespeople need to adapt and ensure how they use the same technology to understand what the customer wants, what is his previous challenges, what is the challenges that he wants to solve, what is that the world is already doing in terms of providing a solution. And when he goes as a solution-centric person, and when he goes and provides solutions, then he'll be demand, and he has to use technology for that. And number two, no longer a person can think that he is a brand all by himself when he's meeting face to face, because nowadays, the YouTube, the Twitter, the Instagram, the LinkedIn are a platform where you can showcase your brand in a much more professional way, and the customer has understood you as a brand much before he has met you. So if the people say that no, I don't want to do that, I am a good guy and I am a very effective person, and I need not create a very powerful brand, that won't happen. By using sales automation tools, by using technology, one has to also showcase their competence to the world, saying that okay, what they are capable of, because the customer has got very less time. He does not have the time to talk to you for an hour and then figure out how competent you are. He needs to know upfront how competent you are. So for that, you have to put out your best self out there in the market, contribute to the ecosystem. So to just summarize what you said is that don't think traditionally, customer of providing traditional information. Customer is much more smart. He has got all the information. Now you have to change and become a very authentic solution provider. Use the tools, reach out to maximum people, not only in your country. Now the world is the marketplace. A person sitting at any point of the globe can be your competitor.
Yeah.
You may think your customer is in the next door, but somebody in the other country would have reached much before you have reached to him. So I think, Viman, I am also grappling, I am also learning, I am also awestruck by this technology, which is fast changing. And the other day I was thinking in ChatGPT, we do a one-day program on latest tools, latest technological tools, ChatGPT, the AI, the presentation tools. And so just you have to give a command to ChatGPT as give 6 differences between the product A and product B in Bengali. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about English. And the next second, it rattles the 6 differences in Bengali right away. It could be Kannada, it could be Malayalam, it could be Telugu. So a person who does not know the language can go and sell to a customer of a totally different linguistic origin. Just imagine 1 year back or 6 months back, it was just impossible, right? He said that I can't converse with this guy, so how am I able to sell? Now this guy who does not know Bengali can just go and click on the chat GPT saying that please communicate my product salient features to Mr. Customer in Bengali, and then lo, the technology speaks, and the customer is very happy because he has got the information in his language. So yeah, so as you asked, the rules are going to change faster. It is not going to stay steady. So one has to be very alert and one has to adapt.
Great. Now, both of us, in our capacity as coach, we refrain from advising people. But having experience worth 3 decades, I think you definitely can advise a few tidbits to some of the people, especially to the listener, about how should they go about their sales as a profession, and how can they really excel.
Biman, again, thank you for asking this question. And that is why whenever I have to advise, I wear the hat of a mentor. And whenever I have to ask a question, I become a coach. So I got the luxury of even advising as well as asking powerful questions. Yeah. So I would say you have to continuously invest in yourself. Many salespeople, unfortunately, I see with 10 to 12 to 15 to 20 years of experience, they feel that they know it all. They have been doing, and they stop investing on themselves. They wait for the company to sponsor them for a training program. And even then, most of them who are sponsored, they don't pay attention because it is sponsored, it is free. I would proudly say that I've invested my own money when I was working in
Hmm.
Ericsson coaching and other places. So people should invest maybe in online courses. Invest with not only money, Biman. Many courses are free available nowadays. Investing your time, saying no to that social media engagement which is not adding value to you, and investing your time in acquiring new skills, maybe it on digital automation, sales automation, presentation mastery, a forum called as Toastmasters, which you and I are part about, where they can go and refine their speaking skills. So one is investing your time by yourself. Company is not forcing you, company is not paying for you, and all good things come at a cost. It is not free. So I would say please invest in yourself. Number two, keep reading good books. There are phenomenally beautiful books which will shape. And yesterday I read a beautiful book, Do It Now, which was mentioned by one of our colleagues at Toastmasters, and I was amazed by the book. Very small book, and nowadays there is no excuse that you cannot read a book because you don't have time. You have a lot of apps called as Storytel or Audible where you can listen while you're walking. You can listen when you're traveling, and so you can use that audio books to listen when you don't have time to read in the traditional way. And number three, I would say be very active in social media. Social media not for entertainment, like Instagram and Facebook. Social media like LinkedIn and other areas where you are visible as a subject matter expert. You engage with people comments, you nurture good connections, you learn from people. So I don't keep my list of my advices very long, only three: one, two, and three. One, invest in yourself, invest time and money to upgrade your skill. Number two, read a lot of books that really gives you a beautiful perspective on what is going on. There is ability to listen also. And number three, grow your social media presence, especially LinkedIn. I've seen many youngsters not there in LinkedIn, and they should come there on LinkedIn, and they should contribute, they should comment, they should engage, they should grow. And I started LinkedIn 7 years back, women, and now after 7 years, I'm having such a fantastic connections, and I'm feeling very enriched. And LinkedIn was a platform where we met, right? So I've met a lot of good friends thanks to LinkedIn. So these are the three advices which I'd give to all people, and not only youngsters but all people.
Right. And one more investment I would like to recommend in form of advice to the listeners, that you should also carefully read the articles which are posted either on a platform like LinkedIn, like what Ravi just mentioned. There is another platform called medium.com. There also you will see a lot of blogs. Earlier days we used to have Google's blog post. But now I think that space is taken over by medium.com, which is a phenomenal, fantastic platform. You get a lot of ideas, you get a lot of insights, and at the same time, you think if you can contribute, you can also contribute. Contributing is also one of the things that you should keep doing, no matter what, at what age, in terms of experience you are. Even if you have 5 years of experience, I'm sure you have a lot to contribute to the society. You can share your observation, you can share your story, and this is
Absolutely.
precisely what Ravi has been doing. And I think that's the reason why he has got more than 50,000, 52K to be precise, number of followers on LinkedIn, because he's quite consistent there. He keeps on writing about everything, everyday experiences, observations that he shares, and then he of course stays oriented around his field of expertise. He is not somebody who will go haywire and talk about literally everything. So this is
Yeah,
something that
this reminds me, Biman, very nicely. This reminds me and an advice, the bonus advice, which I would say, that whatever niche you decide for yourself, whether it is sales, marketing, aftermarket, painting, song, yoga, health, R&D, manufacturing, process, digital assets, whatever, be a subject matter, go deep. They say miles deep and inches wide. Be deep. So people appreciate people or subject matter expert. One of the friends, common friends, women, Ramesh Natarajan, he has made this subject called as batteries. Such an interesting subject with hundreds of podcast episodes. And I initially thought, how can you make batteries as a such an interesting subject? He has absolutely focused on one and only thing called as battery. So I would request everybody to be very, very ruthlessly focusing on one subject, because I've seen many people, they're going astray. One day it is one subject, another day another subject. So people are confused as to what do you stand for. So this is one piece of advice which has given to me by somebody who was very senior, that whatever you choose, Ravi, be very, very focused on that particular niche. I would like to extend the same advice to aspiring people who want to create a mark on social media or create an impression among the ecosystem in which they are there.
great. Thank you so much, Ravi, and thank you for your time today. I think you really enlightened us with different variety of aspects when it comes to sales excellence, starting with differentiating between what sales and what marketing is all about and how do they stand different, and then taking that deep dive into the process and various components that are involved into sales excellence. And thank you for sharing that beautiful colorful slide, which basically is the foundation of your sales certification course, and also talking a little bit about your sales certification course, which is coming up. Remember, viewers, the date is 9th November 2024. That's when it starts. Registrations are still on. And then
Yeah, you can
finally,
reach
of
out to
course,
us. Yeah.
talking about, yeah, and finally, of course, talking about how technology can actually enhance your work, can make you more efficient, and can make you more and more successful. So finally, Ravi, I would like to thank you very much for being with us and spending this time and taking us through different aspects of sales. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Vimanji, and for this wonderful podcast. Today, being in the auspicious Diwali 2024, I extend the wishes to all my viewers. And Viman, this is the first with you. Formally, I'd like to have many more. And I also wish you a good coaching experience, which you have been doing and changing the lives of many, many entrepreneurs, giving them the right direction. So we'll keep meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye for now.
Thank you.